Hello and welcome to the APTA's fourth Grand Prix event of the season, the Boston Open, presented by the Western Golf Club and the APTA national sponsors Viking, Sabertree and Newline. We are live on the APTA network, presented by our live stream production partner, eNet Live. I'm Jerry Viant, along with Lauren Mandel. We're going to bring you the women's final between Jade Curtis and Vicky Stoklasova against the number 2 seeds Cynthia Dardis and Amy Shay. And Lauren, let's run through who the players are that we're going to be watching with our player profile.
Okay. First, we have the unseeded team, Jade Curtis and Vicky Stoklasova. They're both paddle professionals in Connecticut. Jade is at the Round Hill Club, and Vicky's helping out at the Round Hill Club right now. And they are playing Cynthia Dardis and Amy Shay, the number 2 seeds. Cynthia works at the Lake Club in Connecticut, and Amy is the director of platform at the Woodway Country Club. So they're all 4 paddle professionals in Connecticut. They all know each other's game very well. In fact, Jade and Vicky upset Cynthia and Amy in the quarterfinals of the last tournament before the holiday break, the Long Island Grand Prix. I mean the Long Island NRT. So I think we're going to have a great rematch. Jerry, as you know, Dardis and Shay only come out tougher after they lose to a team.
Yes, they do, and it was a Grand Prix event in Long Island. It was a big one. And yes, they do buckle down, and it's going to be interesting to see what kind of tactical changes they make. And you can bet there will be tactical changes. So here's our umpire,
Boston Open.
Barb Horn.
Today's competitors are on my right, the number 2 seeded team from Stamford, Connecticut, Cynthia Dardis, and from Wilton, Connecticut, Amy Shay. They're being challenged by Jade Curtis from Stamford, Connecticut, and former 2-time national champion Victoria Stoklasova from Stamford, Connecticut. Stoklasova and Curtis have won the toss and have elected to serve.
And Barb did umpire for us yesterday, so she's familiar with bundling up and being up there in the chair. Wonderful job. And the players do like having an umpire, and her role will be to, keep the score, and she will overrule if asked, but she's not going to be calling the lines.
And she'll also call for thoughts.
Yep. Yes. Let's take a look at the draw and look at the path that Jade Curtis and Vicky Stoklasova took to get here. You can see in the quarterfinals they defeated the number 1 seeds and current national champions Floor Harnish and Annika van Sterenberg quite handily, 6-3, 6-2, and then went on and had a great match, which we streamed against Roxy Anika and Jessica Gio, and the high quality match, great points, 6-4, 6-3. So it looked really good to me, Lauren. Jade especially looks like that win in Long Island has helped her confidence, and she looks like she belongs out here. She's got a lot of firepower. Her 2-handed backhand off the deck reminds me of yours. You can really win points and open up the court, and she's moving the ball around. And of course you've got Vicky Stoklasova doing what Vicky Stoklasova does well, better than anybody else. It's that soft hands, well-placed shots, the control, the spin, but it's more about her composure and her temperament. I mean, she's really just, I think her pulse rate stays at below 60 at all times. Very impressive. I think that's really helped Jade.
Yeah. Well, these Stoklasova, Dardis, and Shay are 3 of the most proven, consistent performers in the game. I mean, they always give their best, solid effort. Rarely do they have a really off day. And so Jade's really the wild card here. She's her first Grand Prix final, and we'll have to see if she can play up to what we saw out of her yesterday.
So it's supposed to be a little bit warmer today. So it was like 28 yesterday when they were playing. Today it's supposed to get to 50. I'm not sure what it is right now, but I'm sure I'm going to find out. It's 29. So you can see that Vicky Stoklasova has the scarf on and the hat and several layers. See if they stay on through the whole match because she likes to maintain her body temperature. And then let's take a look at the draw again and see Dardis and Shay's path. So they are actually tied in the rankings for first place with Harnish and Van Starenburg, and it was the toss of the coin that put them down the bottom of the draw, and they defeated Lemry and Roybach 2-2.
2 minutes,
Good
ladies,
team
2
from
minutes.
Chicago, and then went on to score up there.
No, but it was 3-6. Cruz and Nicolescu won the first set 6-3, and then Dardis and Shay were up 5-1 in the second set. Looked like they were going to run away with it. Cruz and Nicolescu came all the way back to 5-all, but Dardis Shay stayed the course, won the set 7-5, and then took the third set 6-2 or 6-3. 6-3 maybe.
Yeah, so we switched over and we saw the last set, a little bit of the second set, and Dardis and Shay did what they do best. They maintained the speed of play, their speed of play. They totally shut down the offense of Cruz and Nicolescu and did not allow them to hit their shots or get their sequence going at all. And it's really amazing. And I do need to make a slight correction. They did win 5 national titles in a row, senior national titles in a row, which is very impressive. It was in the 45s. So these guys, we've watched them for so many years. They are just mentally tough. They don't beat themselves. They're prepared. They know what they have to do. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they're going to do this match. I mean, in Long Island, they totally went after Jade Curtis, and she held up. And we'll wonder if what the strategy is going to be this time.
They're just finishing taking serves.
I'd just like to give a shout out to our tournament directors, Drew Sawyer and Genius Chitsukwe, have put on a wonderful event here at the Western Golf Club. They've got the stands up. You can see them on the left of your screen. They've got bleachers up there, and it's covered with, they're all heated, so the fans can sit in comfort and warmth and watch the women's final. And then we're going to be streaming all day today. We're going to go all the way through the men's draw, right up through the men's quarterfinals.
Time.
And then Sunday.
Stoklasova and Curtis to serve.
Sunday we will have kickoff with the men's semi-final at 9 and final at noon. So lots of paddle to watch, Lauren.
Get comfortable.
Yeah.
There's lots coming.
And we'll also be switching over. We've got cameras set up on the second court. So like we did yesterday, we'll switch over. And there's some reprieve matches going on and some men's first round matches. So the forecourt facility here at Western. So this temperature, Lauren, favors Cynthia Dardis' favorite shot, the drop shot. So expect to see quite a few.
That was a huge factor in their win yesterday, because not only do you have to be looking, because you have to be looking for her drop shot, it makes you move in, and then she can take the same ball and hit it over your head. So she won a lot of points with her drop shot without actually even hitting a drop shot.
Right. Yeah, like we said, they'll change balls every 7 games. And when it's this, when it's below 32, it really does affect how the ball plays, the points play, the ball stays lower, put more spin on it, dies off the screen. So it makes Amy Shay slice overhead even more effective.
Jay Curtis to serve. Here we go. You see right away how Amy Shay comes over and takes the ball 2 feet over into Cynthia Dardis' side.
And Amy Shay's in the all black. She's on the ad side. Her partner is in the red visor. And this is a pretty good indication of the match we're going to see.
Love 15.
I expect long points, well-placed shots, are both at the net and on the baseline. Not a lot of wild things happening. I mean, really, for me, the question will be, how confident is Jade?
15 all.
This is, Jade's first Grand Prix final. The other 3 players on the court know exactly what it feels like, what they need to do to get themselves mentally prepared.
15-30.
You saw in the first point, Dardis Shay made Jade hit a lot of volleys, testing her out.
All.
You see Vicky Stoklasova just talking to Jade and just going over their game plan. Nice return by
turn and nice great
Cynthia.
Volley. Wow.
Vicky Stoklasova in the hat
40-30.
red scarf of Patty just sent me a text. She said, what is she in the witness protection program? She's hiding. But she's got such soft hands. You're going to see some well-placed shots overhead. She can get that ball to die in the screen.
And that's going to be a big shot today that we've seen all tournament, that low ball into the forehand corner.
And it's such a scary overhead because you're dealing with a very little court, not a lot of real estate to work with. But
I've never seen it so much as it's been used this tournament. It's been a very effective shot for people.
yeah, especially if that deuce court player is moving to the left looking to get another drive. Take a look at the net positioning of Dardis and Shay. That is how they like to play. They put Cynthia on the right and Amy on the left. That's the scary part. That's the,
Yeah.
the risk that you
and
run
Stoklasova,
going
they
into
lead
that
one
corner.
game
So
to
that's a
love.
good hold for Jade. Good way to start the set. But yeah, that's... We'll try to capture a couple of those shots during the match. I especially want to get Vicky's roller if we can. You know, she's on the left, Vicky Stoklasova in the red hat. When she's on the left at net and she gets that short ball in the overhead, she likes to hit the roller so it goes into the side screen and it's dropping as it hits the back screen. But like I said, I always hold my breath because there's so little court to work with.
You know, I was about to say that I bet we could go this whole match without Amy Shay missing an overhead. And then she missed that one because it's what you said. It's that overhead where there's so little room. She rarely misses an overhead, but it's a high-risk, high-reward play. You're looking to get that in the nick and have it shoot up the
Dardis
side.
to serve.
And they want to test out Jade Curtis's ability to handle those softer screens too.
I'm ready.
Cynthia Dardis serving.
Look at that place lob Vicky Stoklasova hits just between the players, and she's going to try to get Amy Shay to come almost behind. There it is again, almost behind Cynthia Dardis, and she and Drew Broderick hit that spot the most out of all the players playing the game now. Watch this lob. There it is. Pulls Amy Shay behind Cynthia Dardis, trying to cause a little team. There's a switch.
Love 15.
And she just quietly killed you with the
It's really
placement,
beautiful to watch.
right?
It's you see her just kind of duck out of the way of the ball and hit that easy backhand with a little help from the net.
She is float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. That's what Jade Curtis does really well.
30.
Moves in and gets that ball down, comes in behind it, hands up.
And a good example of that backhand that you were talking about. She hit a rocket in there. There's the drop shot.
Both
15, 30.
Curtis and Stoklasova started running.
Well, when Dardis hits it with her backhand, you can see it coming because she sets her paddle for the drop shot. When she hits it with her forehand, you can't tell if she's going to hit a drop shot or a waterfall overhead.
All right. Jade Curtis on the right. She also has the roller, just not quite. There it is. From Vicky Stoklasova.
All.
Dardis and Shay have such wonderful court positioning at net when they know a drive is coming.
They close tight.
Yeah, it's tough to get anything through them. They have to get them off the net.
And you see that's what Stoklasova is doing with these lobs, which is repeatedly getting Amy Shay over.
She's got to to try to create a little opening, and then she's going to hit an off pace. Nice dig by Jade Curtis out of there. Oh, that was a little scary. So you can see both teams are just on a little search mission of where
30,
where
40.
are the weaknesses, where are the holes, where's the chink. And all four players are very aware of the speed of their shots, not hitting faster than they can move.
See them switch back to their sides, Curtis and Stoklasova. The blitz, as you can see, doesn't have to be an all or nothing move. Stoklasova came in and blitzed and then came back. Oh.
And that's about the only spot they're going to find.
They lead
get Cynthia Dardis off of the net and then get that next ball down at your feet. But Dardis and Shay do such a good job at covering, so that's not exposed.
Right, it's rare that they get caught like that.
But that's really about the only hole right now. And Vicky's trying hard to work that spot. Stoklasova. Oh, a layer is coming off. Here we go.
And no more scarf.
2-love. It's Vicky Stoklasova serving first set. Women's final. Smart combination.
15.
That's where the Stoklasova Curtis team has a big advantage. They're much quicker, but it's not easy to get them Dardis Shay scrambling, where that comes into effect.
Right, and that's a real function of their understanding of the speed of the ball that they hit, which allows them time to get out of trouble when they sense the speed is being picked up.
Love.
That's the ball everyone tries to hit to Cynthia Dardis' backhand. She missed that one. She doesn't usually miss that, but that's the one that people get into trouble with, because then Amy Shay comes over and swoops and hits a forehand that you're not expecting if you're not used to playing them.
That's one thing that Jade Curtis will be working on, is changing her grip on the overhead so she can get a little bit more spin and bite on the ball. Right now she's got a lot of flat balls which are sitting up in the screen. They're easy to read. It kind of doesn't break anywhere. It's effective in her placement, but There we go, a little bit of a roller attempt. She really needs to change her grip over and come around the ball, start getting some slash and getting the ball to break.
She will. Her game has improved so much this year. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Just like 3 levels.
40-15. 40-30.
There's this.
As that, we grab that, that would be fabulous. Love to show that. Oh, little guest appearance grab, but it paid off because the temper is that much colder. They're not going to have a chance to run that down. So Curtis Stoklasova off to a strong start in the first set. 3-love. Oh, can we see that shot? Yeah, okay. We're going to bring out that shot that Vicky Stoklasova hits on her overhead, what I've been talking about, where she, here it is, hits it, rolls it, hits the side screen. Oh, here we go backwards. Right, watch how she's... That's the second one. It was the first one I was after. It's that little roll. There you go. She usually gets it a little bit deeper so it hits the side screen. All right, back to Amy Shay serving. They're down 3-love. First set. Right where they like to be.
Yeah.
Just feeling their way in. No panic from this team.
On the court next to us, the finals of the quarterfinal reprieve, Lemery and Rohrbach won the first set against Jaffe and Molleveld 6-4.
Oh. Just the smoothness, and just send that little ball over there. That's a scout shot where Vicky Stoklasova sent a ball out slow and wide, trying to open up the court. So it looks like they've taken Jade out of this a little bit, and for good reason, because that backhand in the middle, I mean, that was a deep ball, and she can really come through and roll it. And
I think they're trying to sort of bait Jade into hitting a drive when she shouldn't, because there's nothing that Dardis and Shay like more, but so far they've had no success. She and Stoklasova have been very disciplined in what they're doing.
All.
That one didn't drop the way Dardis sort of liked.
30-15.
There's something you don't see very often. Stoklasova fooled by where the overhead's going.
Stoklasova just holds the ball longer on her paddle on both her ground strokes and her overheads. Very tough to read. Look, you're not just got a preparation is so early. And just the change of pace, the placement of that drive and the change of pace. Got Amy Shay to pop that forehand out.
You see with Vicky Stoklasova, she's very purposeful when she drives. There's always a reason. She has someone off to net. She found a hole. She never drives just to drive.
Actually, all four players right now are playing at a very high level. All percentage shots, no high risk, no miss it or make it. There's the blitz and the right touch again, where she comes in.
They lead 4 games to last first set.
At a speed that there's not going to be able to run it down and get it back off the screen. So it's off to a really strong start. Jade Curtis serving at 4-love up first set.
It's a heck of a volley.
15-love.
She hit that behind Amy Shay with about 2 inches that she could hit it in, and she nailed it.
$15-all.
That's what Dardis and Shay want to do. They want to pull Stoklasova over. Jade came over to cover, and there was all sorts of confusion, as you saw.
15-30.
But as you said, both of these teams, they volley so well, they do everything correctly, that if you don't get them moving and somehow shrink the court, you're not going to win a point.
Right.
Or open up the court, if you're, I should say.
I think Amy Shay just looked at Cynthia and said, all right, well, that's what we have to do to get a point.
I would say she was waiting on the net for that one. Great return.
Nice
30,
return by Cynthia
40.
Dardis. Right, so break point for Dardis and Shay to get on the scoreboard.
Deuce.
Oh, she caught the nick. Very good serve from Jay
Advantage,
Curtis.
Curtis.
Nice and deep. Had a little kick on it. Point for a 5-love lead.
Deuce. Advantage, Curtis.
Stoklasova really working Dardis over in that corner. Different paces, and then the roller.
Stoklasova calling for that overhead nice and early, so there's no team confusion from that spot lob that Amy Shay set up. I think Dardis and Shay have got to start moving their lobs wider and take a little bit of a chance, because they're not opening up the court at all. Stoklasova and Curtis's net positioning is too good, and their speed of their overheads and placement just keeps them in the right position when Dardis and Shay even have an opportunity to look. So I think they're going to have to take some chances and throw the lob out wider and deeper. Whoever gets the ball back, go the other direction and really flirt with danger for a little bit, because this is a solid 5-love lead.
Viking Athletics is the premier brand and undisputed leader in platform tennis. Viking is platform tennis. The Viking Extra Duty Platform Ball has been the #1 selling ball in the industry for the last 20 years. It is the official ball of the APTA, of the APTA Nationals and President's Cup, and of the Grand Prix Tour. The official
Dardis
paddle of the
to serve.
APTA, engineered to provide superior feel and the perfect balance of power, control, spin, and durability. The Viking paddle is the official paddle of the APTA, of the APTA Nationals and President's Cup, and of the Grand Prix Tour.
Cynthia Dardis serving.
15, love.
Well, Jerry, I think we can say never count Dardis and Shay out. We've seen them come back from 5 love before.
15, all.
This is a tall order, though.
Yeah, Vicky Stoklasova Curtis just look way too solid. I don't see any chinks.
And
that might be it. That might be, get that ball over and test Jade Curtis' screenplay now and just...
I think they started to do that at the very beginning. That was their plan, and they got away from it because she was doing so well, but I think that's they're going to go back to that because it's their best bet.
Curtis is doing a good job with their block lob.
40-15.
Okay, here's a chance. Look at that touch. Oh, right spot.
Game to Dardis and
Perfect
Shay.
spot. Right at
Curtis
her
and
right armpit.
Stoklasova lead 5-1. First set.
Okay, they're on the board. Stoklasova serving 5-1.
Love 15.
And slowly you feel a change.
Yeah,
15
Dardis
all.
and Shay aren't going to go down easily, that's for sure.
$15-30.
So we've got a fault, a long volley. There it is.
40.
Too much room. Stoklasova left too much room there for Dardis. She jumped on it and went down the line.
So hard to close out a set.
Yeah.
In that last game, you really... Dardis and Shay have nothing to lose
30,
right now, and you see
40.
that Cynthia Dardis is really trying to put a little bit more offense on her shots.
Deuce.
She had a play on that, Jerry.
Yep.
That was a short overhead to the forehand.
And that Jade's Curtis's overhead was flat down up.
Yeah.
That was a missed opportunity for sure. All right, deuce.
Deuce. little too careful with that volley, right?
Advantage Dardis. Game to Dardis and Shay. Curtis and Stoklasova lead the first set 5 games to 2.
So we've seen this, Lauren, time and time again. Dardis and Shay just stay at it. They don't miss an opportunity. You know, you could feel the momentum swing right away when it was 5-1. Vicky faltered. Quick volley long. They just keep grinding, and it's it's really hard to stay calm. You're serving, serving for the set, and you want to get it done, but you've really got to stay in that same mode of how they got there. They really, all 4 players started the match as if it was the 3rd set of a semi-final, right? They were all composed, they were all precise, and then we just saw a game where there was 4 missed shots that we hadn't seen the whole set from Curtis Stoklasova. And Dardis and Shay they capitalized on that.
Well, they wait for you to make a couple of mistakes, and then they pounce, which is what happened. I mean, after playing almost error-free paddle, they made a few mistakes.
Love.
Very important that Curtis and Stoklasova keep moving forward. We're all going to be looking at a tie-break first set. Nice move. Great hands by Cynthia Dardis. She's just stayed solid, feet square, backhand volley set, and Jade wasn't able to recover from the first volley. This is where you feel Dardis and Shay are going to get a nick, they're going to get a let cord, something's going to happen, they're going to make it happen, and just Stoklasova and Curtis really need to stay focused here.
30,
moving
15.
forward. That was a great move by Vicky Stoklasova. She came in and put the pressure on that first volley.
I think your tendency when it starts to slip away is to get more careful, and Stoklasova instead did the right thing and chose to go after it.
Nice touch by Jade Curtis there off the tricky little screenshot. There's that well-placed overhead to Vicky Stoklasova. Get Amy Shay to come behind Cynthia. There it is again.
40-15.
And by placing that lob over Cynthia Dardis' left shoulder creates movement, and then Vicky was trying to get that ball back over into the opening. I mean, she just cut it a little too fine, but you can see how she purposely moves the players around, trying to create that opening, different pace. So enough points to get another game here. Nice
40-30.
So Amy Shay's asking for a different look. This is a big point, and Dardis and Shay are testing the nerve of Jade Curtis right now.
The testing the nerve and her ability to hit out of a lot of difficult screens. Like that one.
Game to Dardis and Shay. Curtis and Stoklasova lead the first set, 5-3.
So they got the short lob from Stoklasova and then immediately went after the nick. It's a very smart combination of plays by shots by Dardis and Shay. 3-5. Jade Curtis serving. First set, the final of the Women's Boston Open.
Love.
Nice serve and nice return. Great combination by Cynthia Dardis. Gets the ball by the net players, they run back, and then she hits a terrific drop shot.
$15-30. $15-40. $30-40.
Just a step too short. That doesn't feel good.
One more step on that overhead, get back behind the ball. Good hold by Vicky Stoklasova on that lob. That was not an easy shot. She made it look easy, but that was not an easy shot. Amy really looked sharp to me today.
Advantage, Curtis.
Amy's saying to herself, why did I drive there? She's sitting on the net.
Okay, set point. Curtis Stoklasova.
Deuce.
Need to get a little closer to the net and square to the angle of the ball. And again, the players just have to work so hard to get any little opening on the court.
Advantage, Curtis.
Set point number 2.
Deuce. Advantage, Dardis.
All right, deep breath here. That serve just kicked out right into the strike zone of Amy Shay. That was beautifully executed return of serve.
And 4.
There we are. Inch by inch, they crawl their way back in.
I mean, it's unbelievable. Uline is the leading distributor of shipping, industrial, and packaging materials to businesses throughout North America. They ship over 2.5 million boxes every day, but they are so much more than a box company. More than 32,000 quality products are always in stock and ready to ship. Outstanding customer service means they're here when you need them, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Uline, the best selection, products, and people for an unforgettable customer experience.
Dardis to serve.
There's the lob again that I was talking about. I'll see if we can get this from the camera angle when Vicky's actually hitting that lob, because it's such a deliberate placement that she's aiming her lob for. So often we talk about the placement of the drive, but her accuracy when she's lobbing out of this ad court corner. Got a little cricket shot there.
That's the definition of good hands.
All.
It's a change of pace, and that caused the error. It's a different feel on your paddle, different tension in your hand on the grip to be able to
Control
keep
it.
that lob in. Yeah.
30.
Good eye.
I was thinking the same thing.
Takes a lot of courage to let that ball
How
drop.
is she going to hit that if it drops?
Yeah.
She would have, but
Took a lot of courage.
great control by Cynthia Dardis to be able to keep that away from Vicky.
Oh, nice scramble.
30 all.
Great athleticism, and then you saw that get the nick, that they just needed to communicate a little bit earlier. Jade will learn when that ball goes into the nick just to stay away from thinking about covering it coming to the middle. Just commit to the side screen and know that Stoklasova will be there when the ball pops out to the middle. But she was in the moment. Look at her footwork. Dardis and Shay just keep picking their spots. It's their tempo. Such great control. And that's their reward. You know,
40,
their patience
30.
and deliberateness and their ability to stay within themselves. No matter what's going around them, they just get into this mode, and you have to take them out of it.
Deuce.
That'll make you feel better. A quick point.
That little off-pace return of serve, I mean, shows Stoklosova's touch again. That on that shot and the roller.
I think the reason you see crazy lopsided comebacks in paddle as opposed to tennis is you can't just win a few quick points and hit a few aces or hit a few winners. Every point is a grind.
Yeah, especially at this level. And this much they have such understanding of the game, how to structure the points. And Curtis is the big winner on this court, regardless of the score.
Advantage,
Being new to the
Dardis.
game and being on the court with these three players is really a gift. So a wonderful lesson for her. I mean, she's a sponge and she's taking everything in, and
She's not going to like the lesson of being up 5-love in a set and losing it.
she hasn't lost it yet.
No, but I'm just saying, that's the lesson.
But you learn. She's learning how to structure points.
Game to Dardis.
Doesn't always
and
have to
Shay.
be big
Games
flashy
are
combinations.
5 all first set.
But it's patience, precision, accuracy, teamwork, speed of play. It all goes into that one package, and here we are, 5 all. First set. So we started the match, it was 27
Stoklasova
degrees,
serve.
and as you can see from Amy Shay and Cynthia Dardis being in short sleeves, it's 42 now. So what that does, makes the ball will be a little livelier. The players' muscles will be a little bit warmer, a little bit looser.
Jade Curtis flirting with danger on this point.
Yeah, that's the risk that you run when you play the deuce court side, is there the ability then to find that lob between the two players like you just saw Cynthia Dardis do. So it's a little scary on two reasons. One, you're going into their forehand on the angle. They can step in, rip it down the line, rip it between you, rip it cross court. And two, you expose that Achilles heel, that hole, with two right-handed players through the middle. But you know what? At this point in the match, I think it might be worth Curtis Stoklasova taking that risk a little more.
15 all.
I think Amy Shay is most dangerous in these moments. I mean, she can really hurt you off the deck. If you overhit your overhead, she can also hurt you off the screen.
15-30.
When they were down 5-love, they said to themselves, the other team is on fire right now. We're just going to make them play, and they can't stay this hot. And they were right. They got some errors.
All.
I mean, there's not a lot of room to place the ball there. It's got to be deep. But it is the few boards that I would be aiming for right now. I just can't see taking a risk with Amy.
30-40.
Dardis is going to do everything she can to set Amy up right now, and she'll take the shot if it's there for her too. I mean, you can feel it. They're in that mode.
If Cynthia had hit a backhand drive winner
Down the line,
I was going to stand up and clap.
yeah. Well, and you get it just to have the guts to hit that shot at this point in the match.
2 years.
Deuce.
Probably.
At this point in the match, it's one thing to hit it in a practice match, but 5-all, first set.
They have a great sense of the moment, Dardis and Shay. They really do. Oh.
Nice hands, well done.
Advantage, Stoklasova.
So a point for
6-5.
Get themselves back on to being up 5-love, going up 6-5, and there it is.
Game, Stoklasova and Curtis.
Let me tell you, they were lucky to get out of that game.
6-5.
If only someone had kept track of the number of sets Dardis and Shay have been down 5-love and come back from. I would like to see that stat.
I believe we were in one of those.
I know one of them was against us. Yeah.
We know exactly what this feels like.
It feels like a train getting off track. But we're not the only ones. They've done it many, many times.
Look,
they're never out.
They control the speed of play. They control the momentum of the match. They have the ability to shut down every single team's strengths. All different combinations. They figure it out.
They do. They talk about it, and they think about it, and they figure it out. We saw yesterday Amy Shay hitting overhead after overhead, that slice overhead down the middle. She's hardly using that at all today. They're going to the forehand corner instead. It's a plan.
We have not seen
15.
Jade Curtis. We've talked about how great her backhand is, and we haven't seen it, maybe twice? So that's what they're able to do. Just take out the strengths. And what the other team struggle to do is find the combination against Dardis and Shay, because they get pulled into this style of play. Somebody should have been in there. There was a blitz opportunity. Get Cynthia Dardis off the net and have a hole like that.
Love 30.
They baited her and they baited her. She came up with one.
Yeah, they rolled the dice on that one. Love 30. 2 points away from the set, Curtis Stoklasova.
As if that means anything.
If I'm them, I'm thinking I'm 2 points, let's go. I'm not thinking it's business as usual right now. I'm getting really serious. Had the opportunities at 5-love. Let's go. Amy Shay's taking her time. Oops, they're so smart.
15-40. Who's out?
So we've got some set point opportunities here.
Correct. Game and first set to Curtis and Stoklasova.
That is a tough way to lose the first set. Down love 5, clawed their way back.
Lost a very close game at 5-all. Dardis and Shay, I think, had a point to go up 6-5. And just like that, it's over.
All right, so we are going to be right back in just a moment after these messages right here on the APTA Network, presented by eNet Live.
Go Wonders!
The more they raise their hands out there, the more they'll raise their hands in here. Good Sports gives kids the lifelong benefits of sports by providing equipment to those most in need. Donate today, because kids who play do better.
When it comes to the game of life, we're all on the same team.
And success comes simply from trying. You don't have to be a celebrated athlete to celebrate being active. And you don't have to be on the field to have your own cheering section. United Healthcare.
Welcome back to the Boston Open, presented by the Western Golf Club. We are in the finals of the Women's Boston Open, where Dardis and Shay are playing Vicky Stoklasova and Jade Curtis.
Good to go.
Curtis and Stoklasova got the first set. Jade Curtis is serving.
Love.
That was quite a roller coaster of a first set we saw, Jerry.
It really was. So Curtis Stoklasova got up to a 5-love lead. Dardis and Shay clawed their way back to 5-all.
Love.
It's kind of a little bit of a letdown. I'm sure Dardis and Shay really have to work hard now to regroup, having served 2 faults to lose that set.
They will. And
40 love.
And Curtis Stoklasova, by the same token, can't relax because those were some very tense moments at the end there. I feel like they are probably very relieved to get through that set after blowing a 5-love lead.
That's
Game, Curtis and Stoklasova.
So, Lauren, I just want to mention that our thoughts and prayers go out to the Strauss family today as the memorial service for one of the most loved and decorated champions of our sport, Deanne Strauss. 29 totals, Hall of Famer. I've been on the court for many, many matches with her, spent a lot of time with Deanne, and the whole paddle community is really devastated and sad. And she played the Nationals in Philadelphia this past year, so it was very quick, and Deanne's very private. So we're all in shock and sad, and I just want to send our condolences out to her family and let everybody know that we're thinking of you today. Just a wonderful ambassador for our sport, fair, competitive. We've got so many stories to tell. We'll be doing a little feature on her during the Nationals.
Love.
Quarterfinal reprieve, Liz Jaffe and Mirta Mollenveld beat Suzanne Lemery and Kelly Rohrbach in 3 sets.
15 all.
See, the crowd is starting to build here at the Western Golf Club.
Hearing a lot of oohs and ahs.
Yeah. That's what's great, Lauren, about the Grand Prix Tour is that a lot of players don't get to see the top players at this level in person, and you really get a good appreciation of just how much spin they put on the ball when you're up close. Also the placement of it and the athleticism. Curtis needs to get her lobs up a little bit higher. They're a little bit short. She might get some more opportunities to set up her backhand. And it will also negate Dardis and Shay's ability to get that ball into her screen on those tough angles. So
15.
she's really focused on getting her lobs up higher and deeper.
She forced that blitz a little there. It wasn't really there for her.
The big differences between Stoklasova hitting her overhead into Shay's corner and then getting the drive back. She volleys it straight back into the open hole where Dardis came from, as opposed to Amy Shay, who likes to hit that overhead into the corner and then get the ball back and hit a swinging volley cross-court low. Two different styles, both very effective.
30 all.
Cynthia Dardis needs that shot. She's missed a few. It's a big shot for her team.
It was out. 30, 40.
All right, break point opportunity, go up 2-love for Curtis Stoklasova. Dardis and Shay changing the formation at net. They had Dardis stay back.
Deuce. Advantage, Curtis.
So this is one of the rare winning shots that we've seen today.
Certainly off the return.
And that's credit to Dardis and Shay, who've
Yeah.
been able to take Jade Curtis's firepower off the deck, basically taken out of the match. We've seen one backhand, I think there was a big one, and that return to serve forehand right there.
Well, they just volley so well, and they don't leave any holes. So it doesn't matter how hard you hit it. We saw that yesterday when they beat Nicolescu and Cruz.
It's all about placement, where you put it. See, Stoklasova hit that overhead cross-court, so she made sure it got over to the screen, a side-back screen, so she had time to shift her team. If she just hit that overhead straight over without it going to the screen, Amy Shay would have caught them in a shift.
Jay Curtis having to come up with a couple of not easy volleys.
Oh! You know, it's really hard to get a reaching volley when everyone's in position.
There's one.
Deuce.
And that was all set up by Amy Shay's high, deep lob that pulled Vicky Stoklasova out of the service box.
Funny,
Advantage
the whole
Curtis.
match they were having no trouble picking up her forehand return, and now twice in a row.
They're going to change the formation. Another breakpoint opportunity. So if you're just joining us, we're in the finals of the women at the Boston Open. Stoklasova and Curtis got the first set, but they were up 5-love. Dardis and Shay came back, tied it at 5-all. Curtis Stoklasova pulled it out 7-5. And this is basically the same speed of play, same shot selection as we saw in the first set.
That was a really incredible point, because you would have bet a lot of money on the fact that Stoklasova and Curtis were going to win it. They were in winning position. They had to, and somehow Cynthia Dardis got them back to a reset.
All right, here's a change of formation. They're going to try to take away Jay Curtis's return. And now they're in the point. Fantastic shot. We'd love to see that again. You see with the overhead was just a little higher in the screen, a little harder, and Vicky set her paddle early. And that is a drop
Game to
shot.
Curtis and Stoklasova.
Why is it a drop
They
shot,
lead
Jerry?
2 games to love.
It
Second set.
dropped. It did not go
New ball,
up
ladies.
to drop. So that was a big game for Curtis Stoklasova there. Because you can just feel they need to break away if they're going to stop the momentum that Dardis and Shay had, pulled up so close in the first set.
New ball.
Love.
Jay Curtis stays perfectly still. Her feet are square. Backhand volley ready.
Love.
So a little energy drop on the Dardis and Shay end of the court. They need to have a little snack, I think.
30.
I think losing
15.
that last game deflated them. It was, I mean, they'll be back, but that was a frustrating game to lose.
they do play such long matches, they've got to watch their fuel intake. Make sure their energy is up, because you can see they're tired, so they're making mental errors. When you're physically tired, it's hard to really dig deep. It's just a tough drop shot now in this kind of weather. Not as effective as it was an hour ago. Ball's a little more lively. You can see it, the ball's bouncing higher in the screen. There's more opportunities for the players to use offensive shots off that back screen if they overhead get hit too hard.
Yeah, and less opportunity to drop shot because the ball stays up.
Nice rip by Amy Shay. Boy, she is dangerous moving to the middle of the court. I always say it feels like a 747 coming at you because her wingspan. There's a shot again, Lauren.
To drive that.
I was surprised she did that twice in a row. I mean, that ball, second ball especially, was a little bit higher, and she could have picked an armpit. Deuce.
Advantage, Stoklasova.
What's the shot she wants?
Yeah, she just doesn't. Amy Shay, I mean, she looks disappointed, and she probably is. She doesn't look quite the same as before the last game of the first set.
But they always look pretty much the same.
Oh, I was going to say, we've seen this before. Doesn't mean they're not fighting.
Right.
Don't, you can't be fooled by the look. Just caught the seam there, jumped away.
Stoklasova. They lead.
So they're out to a 3-love lead in the second set.
They won
the first set 7-5. Let's take a look at that replay that we had asked for. There it is. Wow. Can we see that again? So we're looking at the ball coming off the screen. And it was a high. And you see Vicky Stoklasova set her paddle. When we get to it, it's a couple more hits to go. So she's moved back in the court. And that ball bounces high. And there it is.
And Dardis is
down.
off the net, expecting the lob. Making it very effective.
Shay to serve.
Jade Curtis jumping around, keeping the energy level high. I'd say she's feeling it right now, Lauren.
I'd say so.
15, love.
So you really do need to practice the nick, with your partner, because it's a big part of the game. You see, you can't hesitate. Each partner has to know where to go and cover. So get out there and drill it. Drill aiming for it, and also receiving it. See, Dardis and Shay are going to keep going for it when they get an opportunity off of a short lob.
Well played.
30, love.
Well dug out by Dardis. I mean, she did not look like she had control of that point at all, but she just hangs in there. What do you think they're talking about right now, Dardis and Shay?
They're talking about something that Cynthia thinks she figured out, where to put the ball,
I
how
just
hard
saw
to hit it.
something.
Yeah, I just saw something.
It all goes back to them being so confident and comfortable in their speed of play that if they see something, feel something, they're not going to wait to say it in the car on the way home. They're going to stop the match right now and discuss it and use it to their advantage. And that's a very, very positive thing, because so many times you see the players just play the match blindly and then sit back and say what happened. These guys are processing at every point, every game. See, I think Curtis needs to go down the line with that shot. She had an opportunity there to really move Dardis over. Like right now.
A little deeper. A left-handed forehand from Stoklasova.
And down the line, like really down the line.
40, 15.
Nice spot. Changed her mind.
30.
She tried to cut it to finally.
And she was back on the service line. She was like, ooh, no. Yep. Dardis applauding. Stoklasova shot there again. I mean, it was so well disguised. She just set her pedal so early.
It, and that's why she wasn't closer to the net?
Yeah, she just changes it. She has the ability to take that same point of contact and throw it up as a lob. That's the danger of hitting that overhead there on the back screen.
Advantage, Shay.
And look at Amy here. Getting a closer look at what that signal was going to be.
She was going to
say
ask
something?
a question, and then she just decided to go with the signal.
Good hands by Amy Shay.
Game, Dardis and Shay. Curtis and Stoklasova lead the second set.
All right, they're on the
3
board for the
games
second
to
set.
1.
Well, at least Curtis and Stoklasova don't have to worry about going up 5-love and blowing that lead. Be a different look to this set.
Interesting then, they've changed sides at net. Dardis
Love
and Shay. They
15.
normally have Amy Shay on the left hitting the overheads, and now they've got Cynthia Dardis on the left hitting it. I don't know if that's a function of Amy's elbow or a tactic.
Or because they want to hit that overhead into Curtis's corner, which Shay does so well from the forehand side.
Yeah, well, let's see.
15 all.
She mistimed it.
$15, 30. $15.40.
Got to take a moment here, and you see Amy Shay has moved in the court. She's moved up to the service line, just putting a little bit more pressure on Jade Curtis. Just changing the look of the court and knowing that if she doesn't hit a good serve, Amy's going to come in and put pressure on that next first volley. And she handled it beautifully.
40.
She got the serve in and she got into net quickly. And Cynthia's return was just high enough for her to really take advantage of Shay being in the court.
That's the risk of the blitz. If the returner hits it too high. She's got the line on that serve.
Yeah, she handled that well. Now they're back to deuce. That was two big serves on the paddle of Jade Curtis. Now Amy Shay staying back now. See, these are the adjustments that Dardis and Shay recognize and act on immediately.
Advantage, Dardis.
Big return from Dardis. Gets some game point.
It was out.
Just long.
Game,
So
Dardis
she
and
found
Shay.
Jade Curtis's forehand
Curtis
volley
and
because Jade is
Stoklasova
coming in a
lead
little
the second
wide
set,
when
3
she's
games
returning
to 2.
to Shay on that
They
side.
won
So
the
that was a
first set,
well-placed
7
return of
games to
serve. And
5.
3-2. So APTA thanks our official sponsor, Save a Tree, the green choice for tree, shrub, and lawn care. Let Save a Tree focus on your landscape so you can focus on your game and enjoy every outdoor moment at home or at play. Save a Tree provides environmentally sensible services to properties in the Northeast, Mid-Atlantic, Midwest, and Western regions. Contact them at saveatree.com for a complimentary landscape assessment by a knowledgeable arborist. And I love Save a Tree. They take care of our home, and everyone comments how green our grass looks. We're very happy.
Dardis to serve.
All right. Second set. Cynthia Dardis serving. 2-3.
Beautiful backhand.
Love, 15.
That's the one Dardis and Shay have been working so hard not to let her hit.
Love 30. Love 40.
Wonderful volley by Amy Shay.
15-40.
And again, their court positioning as a team. I mean, Jade Curtis hit a great backhand drive. Shay was perfectly still and just stuffed it right back behind her. And there it is again. I mean, her feet are set, her paddle's set. She just absorbs the speed that comes off of Jade's paddle. And as you mentioned yesterday, Lauren, it really does jump.
And not only does she hit that volley right back to her, she hits it so deep that Jade can't decide whether to half volley it or let it to go into the screen. It's a great volley.
That was a rare quick game, a love game. We have not seen any of those this match. So Stoklasova serving 4-2, second set, having won the first set 7-5. Just got to let that go. That's the last little piece coming from her tennis. She just kept her paddle quietly there on the backhand side. She would have seen that that ball was shoulder high, let it fly.
Love 30.
Finding her forehand volley, aren't they?
That was from Dardis moving those lobs around. Used to Shay start inching over and just pounce when the opportunity arose. So all four women are teaching professionals in the Connecticut area, Fairfield County Leagues. I hope all their women's teams and men's teams are watching their pros in action here, enjoying the live streaming on the APTA network. It's really wonderful for the clubs to see their, the pros competing, because unless they travel to the tournaments, I mean, they get to see them teach, but to see them actually competing, it's really fun. And I know they have great support from their memberships. Yeah, that was trouble from the get-go.
40.
Dardis has an opportunity here. Break point.
That one she let go.
40.
Not so easy when the ball is coming so close and hard at you.
Yeah, but they would like to get this back.
Deuce.
Good grab. Not sure it was intentional drop shot, but it was a good grab.
Nah, it was a miss hit, but you know, good hands are your friend. Terrific lobs from Dardis.
So deep and high. In combination.
And it eventually got that ball in the middle that Shay could swoop over, and they took over the net. That's a big play for them.
Good. That's one of the best points of the match right there.
Stoklasova.
So they've saved a few break points here, and now they have game point. Not sure about that duck volley.
It's Gabby Nicolescu likes to do that too. It looks really cool.
Tricky little backhand down the line from Dardis. So she sends that lob out
Game to
wide.
Curtis and Stoklasova. They lead the second set. 5
Looking to
games
set up
2.
Shay's
And
forehand
they
where
won
she
the
can
first
swoop
set,
to the middle, and
7
she's
games to 5.
missed that one, but that's their play.
You saw with those backhands, Dardis trying to get Stoklasova to reach for a volley, which she did, but she somehow manages, Stoklasova better than anyone, to reach for a volley and be balanced in such a way that it's almost like she's not reaching.
So Amy Shay is serving at 2-5. They were down 5-love in the first set, and they managed to come back to 5-all before Stoklasova Curtis closed it out 7-5. So let's see what happens here. Can they pull it off again? Amy Shay serving, and she had a tough service game in the last game of the first set. So
love. All.
going back into Jay Curtis's corner. Is that lucky leg cord?
15-30.
A missed serve and a leg cord, and we're 2 points from the match.
And it's still right where Dardis and Shay are comfortable being. There's no panic here on their side.
30 all.
Look at the intensity in Curtis's face. Big serve by Amy Shay. That was a little scary.
It was. That was a brave overhead at this juncture of the match.
No, it was wide. It was wide. 40-30. It was wide. I'm right here. I saw it clearly. She called it out and then I confirmed it. I didn't answer her. She called it out and I confirmed it. 40-30.
All right, Vicky will move on from this, but that's a tough moment to have that happen. Oh, Bob's got control in the chair. That's why we have the umpires there, and everybody will move on.
Deuce.
Vicky's response is to come back with a huge return of serve down the line. I guess the question on that was it called out, or was she asking about the call? Is that, I'm not sure what happened.
Yeah, because the umpire can't make the call. The player has to make the call. That was what they were arguing.
Okay. All right, back to deuce.
Nice dig.
Down the line was open.
Advantage, Shay.
You know, great thing is all four players is going after it. They're still all fighting hard mentally. That's a beautiful. He just opened up the court so well with that big deep lob, and then just she rolls across court. It's a touch shot. And it's not that easy to volley because she's got a lot of rotation on that ball.
No, and you're reaching to volley it because you're coming back from the other side of the court. Terrific shot.
All right, deuce, 2-5.
Advantage, Stoklasova.
And that hurts. Match point, Curtis Stoklasova. Again, oh, that just must have caught the line. What a point. And Amy Shay, calm, cool, collected. I mean, she just made those volleys look routine, and Jay was throwing everything at her. Must have just caught the very outside of the line, right? Wow. Deuce.
Advantage, Shay.
The ball was so low, it was hard for Vicky to do anything but hit it up and Amy Shay was on top of the net waiting to swing at that volley.
And she did, Stoklasova did pause and tried to get it to her armpit, but it didn't have enough pace. She was in a bit of a dilemma. If she hit it harder, it would have gone out.
Game to Dardis and Shay. Curtis
hung
and
in there, and
Stoklasova lead the second set
5-3.
5 games to 3.
And now we have the youngest player on the court serving for her first Grand Prix final title.
No mistake about it with those
15
volleys.
love.
Very determined to me, Lauren. Very confident, very composed. She's hitting these volleys with a look of what else you got. Oh, nice dick.
30 love.
Points from the title. Curtis Stoklasova.
That was flying.
15.
I think she couldn't get out of the way anyway.
Yeah, it was, again, right at Curtis's right armpit. Nice pace on that overhead.
All.
It's those high, deep lobs that Cynthia Dardis sets up. You've got to make sure you get all the way back. Take that extra step back and let that ball drop. You saw Jay Curtis having to reach up. And again, the ball's warm now, and it was enough to pop it long. She was reaching up for her ball overhead. And then a big return by Cynthia Dardis with a break point.
Deuce.
That'll wake you up.
Vicky's laughing. She was trying to hit my hat, is what she's thinking. She's been working on that duck move. All right, deuce.
Advantage, Curtis.
Match point.
There's the reach.
So Amy Shay is at her deadliest is when she's moving to the middle of the court because she can pick all of those spots.
And she
She's
held
moving.
that
Yep,
and
she
waited
did.
and saw where Curtis was leaning.
Advantage, Curtis.
Cynthia's trying to make it happen and just hit those 2 forehands long. Match point number 2. Oh, guest
Deuce.
appearance. Jade was right there. Back to deuce. All right, what's Cynthia going to do now, Lauren?
Same thing.
Hit it out?
No, drive it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, serve it out.
Advantage, Shay.
I was like, that's surprising. I think she's going to calibrate it a bit now. Two great lobs by Cynthia Dardis there really made Jade and Vicky Stoklasova have to talk about it and make a decision, those lobs through the middle. Oh, careful. Too
Deuce.
deep.
Too deep and so soft.
All right. Now that's great tutelage there. Vicky Stoklasova is walking back with Jade Curtis, and she should take it a little extra second now to compose herself. We're at deuce. 5-3, second set. Curtis Stoklasova won the first set 7-5. This is a big point right here.
Advantage, Shay.
Jade's serve sits up just a little bit right in the strike zone where Dardis likes. And Dardis has moved forward to put pressure on. Jade handled it perfectly, but that serve in.
Deuce.
Big time to come up with that shot. She's not used to playing on that backhand screen, but
It's impressive.
very. That she even tried it.
Advantage, Shay.
It's tough. She served so well all game, and then when the game got elongated, she's missed a few.
And again, you see Cynthia Dardis moving forward, just putting a little bit more pressure on Jade, but she responded beautifully last time. And she does again. It's well done. There we go.
Deuce.
Good hands. Tenacity of Amy Shay coming at you, at you, at
Well,
you.
Vicky gave her that ball to hit. It's like she said, you know, hit it, see what you got. And
And they're laughing. Gotta stay relaxed.
That one was going out.
Tough to let go though at this point.
Yep.
Oh, such touch.
Such calmness.
Advantage, Curtis.
Stoklasova. Match point number 3, I believe.
See Amy say, Shay, shoot, that went in.
Game, set, and match.
is.
Curtis and Stoklasova. 7-5, 6-3.
Great
That
match,
was-
Terry. It
It
was
was a
really
fabulous
fun to watch.
match. It was from the very first point we knew we were in for that type of a battle where all
Great
4
playing,
players
ladies.
really played well. And Curtis Stoklasova have really come through. That was 2-hour and 15-minute battle. Ebb and flow and vintage Dardis Shay, where they get down first set but don't give up. They hang in there. They try to find a way and brought it back to 5 all in the first set. And then Stoklasova Curtis hung in. And we're going to get an interview with Mark Fischel with
Oh
the winners in
my
a moment.
God.
Let's take a look at the path that Curtis Stoklasova took to get here. Here's the draw, Lauren.
Here we go.
Tell us a strong tournament for them here.
Yeah, they followed up their sort of coming out party, I would say, in Long Island, where they beat Dardis Shay but didn't continue to win the tournament. Here they took out the number 1
fine.
seeds
No
and
worries.
were current at the start of this tournament. Number 1 players, Hanisch and Van Starenburg, 6-3, 6-2. And then they took out Annika Gio, who were a new team that played great here. And then they beat Dardis Shay in the finals, so they made it through the tournament without losing a set.
They really won. They really won. They battled and they did well. So we're going to throw it over to Mark Fischel now, who's with our champions.
Okay, congratulations, Jade. Vicky, your first NRT victory. How's it feel?
Thank you. Definitely a sense of relief, but I'm really happy to have won. It's always great when you win your first title. So yeah, happy.
Now, Vicky, you guys got out to a fast start. Did they adjust? What happened to change the match so much?
I think we started really well, and they're just masters in changing tactics, and they always figure things out, and they found our weaknesses and they came back, and then we regrouped again. So we had to change our tactics as well.
What did you do to change your tactics once they came back?
We had to slow down a little bit, pick our targets, and then be a little bit more aggressive in the back. So.
Okay, I asked you guys this question yesterday, and now that you've won a Grand Prix, I'm going to ask you again. When are we going to see you again? Because you're a brilliant new team and chance to win nationals.
We take one match at a time, and each tournament we just play and just see how it goes. And if we can play another one, it's great. I mean, there's other things that we have to incorporate and see if it works out. But hopefully we can get back on the court soon.
It will be a surprise.
Okay, well, congratulations on your big victory.
Thank you.
And I hope we see more of you out there. Back to Jerry Vian in the booth.
Okay, well, thanks, Mark. So that was a great interview. Nice to get their thoughts on that. And again, congratulations to Jade Curtis and Vika Stoklasova. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to be coming right back with the men's draw of the Boston Open.
Well, our goal is to give them the chance to perform and to play. I think that's the biggest thing. We want to help them reach their dreams, and playing is their ultimate dream. Getting to the top is their ultimate dream. You don't get there unless you are able to play in those tournaments and travel around the world and compete. I think another way is for them to get training on how to become a professional of what they do, not just on the court but off the court, and understanding that there's value in them and a lot of different aspects of their life. This is just one aspect of their life.
Okay, welcome back to the Boston Men's Open presented by the Weston Golf Club. We're in the first set of this round of 32 match between Patricio Mistrano and Todd Hiscox, and they're playing against Michael Montalbano and Paulo Gonzalez. The score is 3-1 Montalbano Gonzalez in the first set. This is Patricio Mistrano serving to Michael Montalbano. And I'm joined today by Brad Easterbrook. Brad, why don't you give us some insight on the two teams?
Well, actually, this should be a great matchup. You know, Mistrano and Hiscox are a very steady team. They have good spot offense. They're going to lob well and look for opportunity to hit forehands. And Gonzalez and Montalbano has an amazing backhand drive.
Love.
And Gonzalez has very quick around the court, good spins, good volleyer, and a good forehand.
I actually lost the first point.
I expect this to be a good battle.
Thank you.
Good
Sorry.
battle.
Correction, 15 all. 15 all.
All right, so it's 15 all in this fifth game, actually.
There's the big Montalbano backhand.
Yeah, it's huge. In the game right now, who has bigger backhand?
Mark Parsons. That might be it. Drew Broderick's awfully good too.
Different kind, not as much of a, Montalbano's heavy downward backhand. And you'll notice today,
15-30.
Awkward style at the net a little bit from Montalbano, but great hands. Not a traditional backhand volleyer, two-hand volley, one-handed forehand volley. He'll play more forehand volleys than probably anybody else in the game.
You see Mistrano and Hiscox playing I formation with Mistrano staying back. Just so hard to find that Montalbano forehand when he's returning from the ad court.
I think the better play is actually to serve it slow, soft, and low down the middle, and to do a delayed approach to the net. You bounce that ball up high, it's down on it, very hard to volley.
And there it is again, and he finds the Mistrano forehand.
Gonzalez,
4-1.
Montalbano. Gonzalez, Montalbano lead the first set 4-1.
Todd Hiscox has got a new company, Paddle Solutions. They're doing camps and tournaments in the Boston area. They've done 3 camps this year and one at Weston with Genius and John Hughes.
The conclusion of this game, guys, will switch out to a new ball. It'll be the 7th game. The first game, one game counts in the warm-up.
Now, what I saw, I got to watch a little of this match before, and it looked like Montalbano and Gonzalez just more solid at the net and a little more offense in the backcourt. You know, Mistrano and Hiscox right now haven't found the flow to where they're going to hit their balls and get Gonzalez and Montalbano to miss. And then I saw Mistrano hit a couple of kind of loose backhands, shot he doesn't necessarily have.
Love 15.
Yeah, this is Montalbano Gonzalez's first tournament together. Guys kind of climbing the ladder, good young players.
This is Mistrano's first tournament since Nationals of last year, actually.
A bad tennis elbow, couldn't play at all. Didn't prevent him from running a New York Marathon though, where he got injured again.
exactly why I don't run the marathon, Mark.
You and me both, Brad.
Love
we didn't run it
30.
together. A couple of misses from Montalbano. You can see that loose arm on Paulo Gonzalez. It just generates a lot of spin on the ball. And this is the first tournament they've played together.
Gonzalez is up-and-coming player in the Chicago area. Played a few tournaments with Williams.
And as you accurately pointed out earlier, the ability to generate offense from the backcourt been a little bit of a bugaboo for Hiscox Mistrano.
I think one of the keys is, I think Gonzalez has good spin on that overhead, but if you watch it now, it'll hang a little bit. I think Hiscox is going to have to take a couple of chances in the middle of the court looking for a high forehand.
Well, it's a beautiful day in the Boston area, Brad. How do you think the warm weather is going to impact play?
Well, it's supposed to be actually getting up to close to 50 today, right? I mean, without a doubt, you know, the warm weather, all paddle players know that the ball's going to warm up. And it's going to be harder to keep it on the screens. It's going to be a good day. You're going to see a lot more people letting that ball go through on the first serve because it's coming off the screen. And letting it go through in general is going to be a good play for all these teams if a drive is too hard to handle.
Now, would you play more conservatively or aggressively from the backcourt in the warm weather?
You know, that's a great question. You have more opportunities in the warm weather, but you have to manage your pace better because hitting a drive too hard off the back screen doesn't really benefit you. So I think good rollers and blitz opportunities will be out there. And I think the teams that are going to do the best out here are going to be able to manage their pace really well.
I mean, Mistrano and Hiscox have not taken a swing at one ball this point. And Patricio Mistrano especially had 2 or 3 forehands. He could have taken a cut at it.
It's like you said, you know, when they get into that zone where the offense is working great, they dial it back and they're not hitting anything.
15-30.
One of Montalbano's weaknesses has been that he tends to go away at times. So you wonder if they're just going to lob him and make him prove that he's going to stay in the match.
15-40.
There's a good ball, looking for that high ball. Those of you who are out there, that's Hiscox on the far side in the red and Mistrano on the far side in the black outfit. And then Gonzalez in the green t-shirts.
Mistrano, Hiscox. Gonzalez, Montalbano lead the first set, 4-2. We're going to do a ball switch, guys.
Changes balls after 7 games.
7th game, yeah.
6 games here because they used the warm-up as 1 game. Serve an asset or a liability on a day like today, Brad?
It's definitely not an advantage at all. The returner on a day like today with too much pace, it's going to be coming off the screen, and so it's a good opportunity for drives.
Love.
It's interesting, Brad. We've seen a lot of players blitzing the last couple days and missing the blitz. Here they are both staying back against the Montalbano return.
See that forehand volley from Montalbano. I tell you, Monty, of all the players, looks extraordinarily nonplussed. You know, just so calm, relaxed out there.
Mistrano there.
15 all.
Smart look by Montalbano. You know, if Mistrano's going to pull the trigger on that over, he's got to hit it hard. He hit a half-pace overhead from back in the court. Easy drop shot winner from Montalbano. That's a not confident shot there.
There's a great example from Todd Hiscox that you can take over the net when you're serving, but maybe not coming into the first ball, but the second one.
Yep, paced a little hard off the back screen, gives a nice drive opportunity. You didn't even see Montalbano and Gonzalez even try to come in after it.
30-15.
Did you find lobbing to be a challenge in the warm weather? Was the ball flying on you a lot, as we saw there from Paulo Gonzalez?
It certainly can, but like anything else, you pitch your face a little more open, a little straight up, so the ball travels more upward and not forward, and that's how you manage it. You got to get the height on this. Oh, that's a little lucky there.
30 all.
And how do you feel about the Montalbano apology? When inside he's celebrating, he's ecstatic hitting a winner, and then he's pretending to be sorry.
I think it's just nice sportsmanship to pretend you're sorry.
So you like lying?
I wouldn't go that far, Mark, but...
So that's
30,
the first time they tried
40.
to volley the first ball and missed it. They've been letting the first ball through, and here they are, not staying back. It's very hard to control that first volley in the warm weather.
Stab volley.
There they switch to get the Gonzalez overhead in the middle, which I think is a really good play because the strength of Montalbano's game is not the overhead.
Nope. In fact, I think, as you mentioned it earlier, there might be one of Hiscox's and Mistrano's strategy down the road. A lot of lobs to Montalbano, see if he gives him a loose one like that. But great volley. That's the shot I saw earlier.
Game, Gonzalez, Montalbano.
That's not the one you want to take.
Gonzalez, Montalbano lead the first set, 5-2.
Can't afford to miss that shot. If you're going for a big drive and you miss it, that's okay. But you can't make mistakes on balls that are just designed to elicit volleys that you can then subsequently pounce on.
No, you're absolutely right. I think the play now for Hiscox and Mistrano, we'll see if they can figure it out, is to lob as much as they can down the line, have Hiscox look for the middle for the forehand, and Mistrano look to the deuce side forehand. They don't want to be hitting that back-end shot there. And they're struggling right now figuring out how they're going to put their offense together in the backcourt. But they haven't been able to control the Gonzalez overhead well enough to control the lobs down the line consistently to look for that play.
I think we've had one hold of serve in the first 7 games.
That goes to the warm weather you were talking about.
So how would you adjust to that, Brad? Would you start staying back even in the course of the point, even after you got control?
It's certainly an option. I love, on a day like today, to constantly mix the strategy.
15, love.
Serve, stay back once. Then the guy might take a little pace off his return, then throw in a serve volley, then throw in a poach for your net partner, but stay back. Try a floating eye once or twice. I like a constant mix of strategies today because you want to turn it into a guessing game. If you can do that, you'll have better options.
30, love.
Little reverse spin serve. I've seen you hit the serve, Brad. Talk about it a little bit.
Yep, it's actually
30,
acting the spin
15.
like a lefty's spin would. He's coming across the ball on the inside, and he's keeping it low, so it's making the ball spin in an opposite direction than you normally see from a right-handed player. It's a smart serve. In this weather, the ball stays lower, not easy to hit down on the return. He's had much greater success coming in this game behind it. So I want to see this this lob go over to Montalbano if they can do it. Now they should be looking. Yeah, Hiscox should be looking for that ball in the middle.
Now, what strategies would you be employing from the backcourt here, Brad, to try and get Montalbano to hit more overheads?
Well, that's the struggle. He's staying pretty much over that side, and you see Gonzalez taking 80% of the balls here, and they have nothing in the middle of the court. And as, like I was mentioning before, if they can start controlling that ball down the line, nice between the legs there by Mistrano. That's the ball there, and that's the play. The lob down the line with Hiscox looking in the middle. Hiscox in the red, and Mistrano looking over for the ball coming to the deuce side wire. That's the spot. Here it is again. Didn't get it, but that's the play right there. So far on this point, we've seen Gonzalez hit probably 90% of the balls. You think that could take a toll later on in the day if they move further? Good cut overhead.
Hard overhead, out of the court.
40-15.
Brings us to double set point.
Yeah, hard overhead. You got to aim it to a certain spot on the screen, otherwise that's what happens.
$40-15.
Great overhead from Montalbano.
Gonzalez.
First set,
Montalbano.
Montalbano 6-2.
Montalbano wins, or Gonzalez Montalbano wins the first set, 6-2.
Okay, we'll be back in a moment after these messages right here on the APTA Network,
Yes.
presented by eNet Live.
Introducing Head's new explosive line of extreme rackets featuring graphene touch technology. Available in 3 different weights and 5 different models, Graphene Touch delivers maximum power with state-of-the-art shock absorption for the ultimate playing experience. Power never felt so good. For more information or a dealer near you, visit www.head.com today.
Welcome back to the Boston Open, presented by the Western Golf Club. We're in the second set, just about to start the second set of this round of 32 match between Gonzalez and Montalbano playing against Hiscox Mistrano. What do you think Hiscox Mistrano have to do, Brad, to change things up here?
Well, like we mentioned earlier, you know, Mistrano, this is his first tournament since Nationals of last year. You can see him talking after the break there. They just got to find, as we talked about, a place to have some offense in the backcourt. They weren't able to get any, and the Gonzalez overhead spinning up in there. If they can't lob the ball down the line and get Montalbano to hit overheads and look for spot forehands, they're gonna struggle out here today.
Yeah, they lost their serve all 4 times in the first set. Great lob from Montalbano.
Wow. Little flick. Now we'll see if Gonzalez and Montalbano switch at the net.
There's a lot of spin Gonzalez is
Love
generating there.
15.
Those first couple games of the second set are so important after you've lost the first set to kind of change the momentum, the dynamic on the court.
Oh, great touch. It's the
Love,
right chord.
30.
No apology though, Mark. You're happy. No insincere apology.
I taught him that. Great change of pace from Montalbano.
Yeah, it was a great touch on that ball.
15, 30.
It's interesting, Brad. We've had some very long points and then a lot of short points. Nothing in between for the most part.
Yeah, any point that's gone long right now is favored Montalbano and Gonzalez for sure. There's the great serve and stay back.
Montalbano will be not happy
30
with that.
all.
Very makeable backhand. Spot from Gonzalez.
Quick release on that forehand. A lot of topspin.
It's amazing. Oh, the Montalbano, Mistrano and Hiscock switching in the backcourt now. Another great overhead.
30, 40.
Big moment of the match.
That's a big serve. They're going to have to work that middle more. You got to stay away from the edges against Gonzalez and Montalbano.
And
Now they should work the edges when they switch. Right. Like that play.
Great lob.
Gonzalez and Montalbano switching in the backcourt.
Game. Gonzalez, Montalbano. Gonzalez, Montalbano lead the first set, second set, 1 game to love.
Definitely some confusion there from Hiscock's Mistrano, which you would not expect to see from a veteran team.
Yeah,
Fred, you talked earlier about the amount of spin on Paulo Gonzalez's forehand. Isn't it amazing how much of a bigger component of the game spin is today than it was 15 years ago?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, spin's a huge component of the game now. You know, and the ability to use it, more spin on certain drives, cut overheads. It's a huge part.
What do you attribute that to? Is it technology? Is that athleticism?
I think it's just, you know, the athletes who came into the game were looking to redefine it in certain ways, and they didn't want to play the standard style, so they started adding different shots. We've seen 5 or 6 different styles develop and different shots come in the last few years. You know, and so that's really it. It's just the innovations and, you know, the greater athletes combining more torque on the ball. So it's been a great thing.
Great point from Mistrano there.
15 all.
Switched in the backcourt, took advantage of it with a big backhand. I think this is a really important game for them.
They got to get their teeth in this. Serve, he's going to take the drive. Oh.
30, 15.
Cannot afford to miss that shot. This juncture of the match.
Yeah, you know, it's, like we said, first tournament back for him in a long while, so there's going to be some rust, I'm sure.
Again, the switch in the backcourt. Wild forehand from Mistrano.
Swings a little
40,
big.
30.
Doesn't have his timing or his feel yet.
Interesting, Montalbano staying back.
Yeah, he
40
prefers hitting that
all.
backhand off the screen than he does taking the first volley. He'll stay back probably 60% of the time or more.
Montalbano was the chair of the APTA Umpires Committee and recently appointed chair of the Men's Players Committee. Great volunteer for the sport.
That's good cut overhead.
Oh, some volley from the service line.
Great mix of overheads. You see how he's changing heights and paces and spins there from Gonzalez.
That hard overhit in Misatrano came out of nowhere.
Yep. His opponent's off balance. Cutter inside, followed by the roller to the outside. It's well left by Misatrano.
Advantage Gonzalez Montalbano.
The trick is, we've all played this game, and you know, making errors is a killer. When you lose your confidence or you don't have it, it's tough out there. You got to grind.
Montalbano comes in, makes a good first volley.
Good cut overhead.
That ball had a lot of juice on it, didn't it? Gonzalez's court position is interesting. He's way off the net and pretty far from the center stripe. What do you think of it, Brad?
You know, I think at this point you adjust things based on what's going on. And right now, Hiscox and Misatrano don't have any offense. There's no need to get closer to the net. There's no need to be close to the net unless you're afraid of the drive coming. And this way, when they take the drive, he has the option to let it go or play it off the back screen. But to be honest, we haven't seen that many drives, you know, from Misatrano and Hiscox. Combination again. Really well done.
Very
Game
impressed with the
Gonzalez
overhead.
Montalbano. Gonzalez Montalbano lead the second set 2-0.
The winner of this match will go on to face the winner of Broderick Kaler, who are third seeds, against Getz and McManus. The round of 16.
Drew Broderick looks really fit.
Yeah, he's in great shape. I mean, he, you know, with the style he plays, I've never seen him tire in any tournament.
But this is the best physically I think I've ever seen him look. His whole body just looks tight. Okay, this is pretty close to a must hold, which of course would be their first hold.
Yep, I agree. Great pace again from Montalbano, dictating with that backhand. So you got the combination of Montalbano dictating with the backhand in the backcourt, and Gonzalez dictating at the net a lot with the overheads.
Gonzalez overhead is giving them fits,
Love
isn't it?
15.
Again, the Montalbano backhand.
Yep.
Isn't that what good teams are made of, Brad? Complementary. You do this well, I do that well.
Oh, I agree. I think absolutely, if you know what your roles are and what you're trying to do out there, it's a great way to build a team. You know, we had years ago, you know, the great Johan Durant, and we're excited to see Durant and Parsons back into the draw. You know, he played with the great, you know, a great player in Porter those years ago, but they did too much of the same things. So he got in with Parsons, who had a complementary skill set, more from the backcourt, and of course, you know, some legendary combination.
knowing your role, such a huge part of the game. Great ball from
15
Hiscox there.
all.
What's your role when you play with Ron Orion in some of those tournaments?
To get water for him when we switch sides.
It's to know your role, Mark. Absolutely.
Yeah, sometimes I pick up the ball after the point's over.
He does let you serve once every 4 games, though. That's just a rule, though.
He's working on that.
He's changing the rules. That's great backhand. Again, you got to work the middle
15,
of the court
30.
with Montalbano standing in there. You cannot dump the ball down to the backhand.
No, they keep falling prey to the same thing.
Right now, I think they're just trying to hang in there and hope that one of them goes off the rails on the other side. Maybe, you know, Monty, we've said it's possible he has a walkabout from time to time.
15, 40.
They won that point straight out on the Montalbano return.
Yep.
It's a quandary when you don't generate enough offense from the backcourt, but you can't take control of the net.
Yep. You got to hope for that. Missed return. You know, at
30,
this stage, though, I will
40.
chalk some of this up to the first tournament back here from Mr. Toronto. The pace and the spin, you know, it takes a while to get back in, get the tournament legs underneath you. That's a great shot.
Good dig.
Constantly, Gonzalez go from a cut overhead to a roller overhead, change the heights and the angles. Good stuff.
There's the switch at the net. Oh, great ball from
got
Mr.
that
Toronto.
40 all.
Still some fight in there. It's a great shot. If he could start getting those, he was missing those earlier.
It's so interesting that if he starts making a couple of balls like that, they won't be as comfortable as the net. Then all of a sudden, things can change. So little required to change the momentum of a paddle match.
Oh, we saw it in that great women's final. You know, Curtis Stoklasova get up 5-0. Then all of a sudden it's 5-love, couple little adjustments.
5 all.
5 all. Right. You know, a couple little adjustments to Dardis, Shay, and just tightening up their game. Better position at the net. Should have let that go through, but
advantage Gonzalez Montalbano.
And that's the problem with lobbing endlessly too. Is
Sure.
someone's going to get a nick, someone's going to get a seam.
oh, without a doubt, there's no question that you know, Montalbano and Gonzalez have had probably a half dozen, you know, creases and balls into the nick, and I don't think we've seen one from Hiscox and Mr. Toronto, primarily because if they try to hit to the corners, you know, Gonzalez and Montalbano are hitting them. And they're also just aiming really well, Gonzalez and Montalbano, right for that crease. It's not a luck shot. People think, oh, they got lucky, it went in the crease. It's not. Good players aim for the corner all the time.
There's a good volley. Oh, great get from
get.
Montalbano's some athlete.
Deuce.
The other problem for Hiscox and Mr. Toronto is they're playing the entire match in the backcourt.
Yep. Right now they have no answer to the overheads from Montalbano and Gonzalez. There's a good lob. Nice combination. There you go.
A little confusion in the backcourt.
Advantage, Mrs. Toronto Hiscox.
Oh, good blitz look.
Game,
Great low
Mrs.
return.
Toronto Hiscox.
Big game there. Big
Gonzalez Montalbano
As I said,
lead
it was
the second
probably a
set,
must-win,
2
so that was
games to 1.
Saw a little better positioning, at various times at the net. They're going to have to see if they can build on this now. And our umpire in the chair today is Chris Studdert, and we thank his service out there, ably calling this match.
That's the type of miss you
15
can't afford to make
love.
when you're trying to get your teeth into the match. That was a phrase you used earlier, Brad, and it was right on the money. They had their first hold. They're getting back in the flow. It's a critical game.
Nice play. Now that's the look we talked about
15
earlier.
all.
See, the lob down the line, Montalbano crossword overhead, and then Mistrano stepping up and in. That's the play they're going to need more of. There we go.
15-30.
Little raise in the level now. That's great by Mistrano Hiscox.
The percentage of points they're winning on the Montalbano overhead versus the Gonzalez overhead is dramatically higher.
Not in position for that one. Not
30 all.
Yep, was late moving over to his side wire. Needed one more step earlier. But they're not even trying to drive the Gonzalez serve at all.
Oh,
30-40.
we haven't seen too many of those loose overheads.
Doesn't take many, though, to get him back in the match.
Yep, break point. All right, getting probing drives now, a little more topspin.
Wind swirling out there.
Yeah, see the Viking sign back there. Rolling about.
40 all.
Break point. Missed block lob there. That's unfortunate.
Fortunate, it's a kind choice of words, Brad.
You know,
It's a great return. Great return.
Advantage,
Misitrano.
Misitrano Hiscox.
That was fortunate.
That was fortunate, absolutely. Good pace. You see Montalbano and Gonzalez bailing back there. Now here's the play. Oh,
Deuce.
Another unfortunate shot.
yeah.
And it's just a hurdle you've got to get over in a match like this. And Misitrano Hiscox are right at it right now.
Right.
That overhead was close, wasn't it?
Oh, it was right on the line. Just trying to give it a good long look, but it was called in. It was good, though. That's our look. There you go.
Advantage, Misitrano
Now
Hiscox.
that's where his positioning, when he sees the drive coming, he should have closed back in, but he didn't. And as you mentioned before, he tends to play back off that net, which is fine, but not if your opponent's hitting a dip and drive.
Little casual.
Yep. Well, this is the risk now for Gonzalez and Montalbano. They've had a pretty easy run of it so far, and now we got a little fight going on. So there it is.
Spot for
Game.
Misitrano.
Misitrano Hiscox.
2-all.
That's it.
One more.
2 in a row.
Score is 2-2 in the second set.
Interesting to see how Gonzalez Montalbano respond to this.
Yep. So now here's the position when you got Gonzalez. Oh, now the switch. See, they're switching the backcourt, gives it a different look. See, you do not want to hit the ball soft off the middle when you got Montalbano in the deuce court.
Just failure to adjust. Got to
Right.
be aware of the situation.
Love,
And that's what the
15.
switch in the backcourt does, but you know, they got to be aware of that. When those guys switch like that, Montalbano goes, you got to work the edges of the court to the sides. When they look like this, when you got Gonzalez there in the deuce court, now you can work the point up the middle when you're at the net. Locked in on that great return. Oh, and there's a slightly
15
loose
all.
balls creeping into Gonzalez and Montalbano's game. Oh.
30-15.
Back in position. Gonzalez was confused by that call.
It was a confusing call.
Yeah. You know,
Clearly Montalbano's ball.
Yep, should move back in. Put a backhand off the screen, lobbed it up.
Isn't it amazing? You make a
40,
couple of volleys,
15.
win a couple points in the backcourt, and all of a sudden your opponent starts missing a little bit.
That's right, 40-15. It's a good chance for a 3-game run here for Hiscox and Misitrano. That should do it. No, what a get! Spoke way too soon. Love to see that get again if we can get that on the slow-mo replay, Mark. Montalbano, good hands. Oh!
Great point.
Game. Misitrano Hiscox. Misitrano Hiscox
Okay, Brad,
leads
we're gonna get to
the
see that
second
point
set,
again here,
3 games
between games.
to 2.
Right there.
New ball, gentlemen.
Rewind back here. That was a great get.
Well, he looked fast there, Brad, didn't he?
We'll see if we can zero in on it. All right, we'll catch it for you later if we can, because they're back ready to serve now. That's great play. I like how now for the first time you got Gonzalez and Montalbano having a little conversation back there. It's been smooth sailing up to this point. Couple loose shots, couple better plays, a little tighter there. Still good positive energy from all players, actually.
Okay, new ball. Montalbano taking a couple of serves with it. And he faults despite
Love
taking the serves.
15.
Yep.
Do notice, Brad, that Montalbano's mom, Carrie Rebuse, is down there living and dying with every shot.
Oh yeah, she's actually videotaping much of the match, actually.
That's over the fence. So just to confirm, the score is 3-2, Hiscox, Missitrano. Love 30. It looks like our entire match has flipped, Brad.
Yeah, and that ball there, you know, the hard overhead can be good when you get a guy in transition, but poorly aimed and just loose.
Love 30.
You know?
Wrong moment in time, and in the warm weather, you've got to be concerned with hitting it over the fence.
Love 30.
From that angle, too, you want to be hitting the ball into the ad court for the hard overhead. It's just the wrong shot, to be honest. Better serve there with a long, low ball towards the snowboard with half pace.
$15.30.
See, in a match, how many lobs would you want to miss in a whole match, Mark?
0.
Well, 0 would be great, but I'll tolerate 1, 2 at the max. Loose air.
Who's felt that the lobs and the overheads had to go in the court. You're going to miss drives, you're going to miss volleys. Well, I'd miss volleys, not you, Brad. But you just can't afford to miss the lobs and the overheads.
Now watch subtly here. Now we saw before free swinging Gonzalez on the overheads. His last 5 have been push overheads now. You don't see in the free swinging cuts. So they might actually be tightened up a little. There's a little cut there. There's another push on Gonzalez. He was free swinging at those before. Push overhead again. Interesting. I don't know why he blocks that.
30 all.
Yeah, that would have been potentially an offensive shot if he let that ball through to the wires.
Back screen to the side, yep.
2 mental mistakes there from Missitrano. Make it 3.
40-30.
It's just amazing how little it takes to turn a match.
Yep. It's a nice serve there, right down the middle.
Great lob from Missitrano, set that up.
Great get by Montalbano. formation where you want to work the edges of the court against Montalbano and Gonzalez in the backcourt. Be careful in that middle.
That was a strange shot, and then he stopped after he hit it.
Yeah. I think he thought it might have been going out, but it was so off pace.
Game, Gonzalez, Montalbano.
That game was 30-love.
The second set is tied, 3 games to 3.
Yep.
So that's
chance to go up a break for the first time in the match, and then pretty much donated the game.
Yep. Yeah, even that last shot, Montalbano hit a floater right down the line just after I started talking about don't hit the ball up the middle. He lays it right up the middle, Montalbano down the line, and
then stopped after he hit it.
Yeah, I truly think he thought it was going out. He just completely misread the pace of the ball. But
you have 10 minutes.
Would have been the second. I think we're taking injury time out right here. So we're going to find out what's going on. We'll be back in a moment after these messages right here on the APTA Network, presented by eNet Live.
To the end, it's just beginning. Life is getting lighter while the days are getting brighter, yeah. And it's a good, I won't even worry anymore. Took all my cares, took and kicked them all out the door. Go on and try, come and tell me what you're waiting for. Move and keep them going till your life is overflowing, yeah. I do a dance of victory, cause now I'm living good. No, I'm not living like I used to be. Now talk about things, talk about my mind. Now I'm free from the words that I left behind. I gotta jump for joy and shout aloud and make a sound. Oh, the world can stop me now, no. And all the music I will ride on the beat. Play my guitar, I won't stop on my feet, yeah. I gotta celebrate life and get excited about good times and good living. Come on, shout it out, hey! Take it up, take it over, take it out of control. Today I'm freeing my soul and now you got me singing, oh, hey, I'm feeling fine.
Well, our goal is to, give them the chance to perform and to play. I think that's the biggest thing. We want to help them reach their dreams, and playing is their ultimate dream. Getting to the top is their ultimate dream. You don't get there unless you are able to play in those tournaments and travel around the world and compete. I think another way is for them to get training on how to become a professional of what they do. Not just on the court, but off the court, and understanding that there's value in them in a lot of different aspects of their life. This is just one aspect of their life.
Okay, welcome back to the Boston Open, presented by the Weston Golf Club. Apparently, Patricio Mistrano rolled his ankle, but he seems to be okay.
About another 25 seconds, Patricio.
And he's ready to go right now. Taking a couple of warm-up serves. Patricio's had some ankle issues in the past. Wears ankle braces.
All right, gentlemen, we can start. It's 3 games to 3.
So we had to
second set.
Use the rules there. 10-minute timeout for an injury if you have one. Only needed about, really, a couple of minutes to readjust his ankle brace.
Love 15.
All right, they had some good momentum going there, taking 3 in a row, but then sort of donated the game back. So we'll see if they can regain it. We know how important momentum is.
Toronto there.
Yep. good overheads at the crease, right at the nick there from Montalbano and Gonzalez.
That was the ball Sistrano could have swung at.
Yeah, I thought he was going to. Didn't look prepared.
You notice any different in his movement, Brad?
Not yet. We'll have to watch. I mean, certainly he could have tried to move into position to hit that ball there, and he didn't, so.
Water bottle rolling around on the side of the court.
Yep. Just, Mike, if you can, all right, is that wedged in there good? Okay.
Yeah, he's
15 all.
Talking about there.
Good ball there from Mr. Toronto.
You know, for the first time playing together, Montalbano and Gonzalez look very coordinated.
I agree.
You know, and Hiscox and Misatrano have played a bunch of times together, and, you know, they don't look as coordinated. I know it's Misatrano's first time back, you know, in quite some time. But it's interesting to see out there. You can see them thinking their way through this, trying to get back in. See, now they got to work the Gonzalez backhand. Good close there. It's really very little point in that shot there, Mark. Very loose air.
Careless. I like this. They're going to do a little Australian against Montalbano. I think giving him a different look every time is good. Gonzalez has got a great sense of the court, Brad.
Great close there by Montalbano. Lob is out, questioned there by Misatrano.
15-40.
No overrule. 2 break points.
Another missed lob.
Yeah, that one might have been footwork related. You see him pulling his calf now. He didn't get down and back for that.
Great serve.
See, now in this formation, you want to work the middle of the court. Careful that Montalbano back, and now the switch.
Now we go to the sides.
That's right. And I think they got it now. They're adjusting well there.
You can see how hard Gonzalez is working to lob the ball to Misatrano down the line.
Yep. But Misatrano's not taking the bait. He's not going to go over to the Montalbano backhand. See Montalbano hit a ball, and the first one he does, he laces a backhand. Great shot. And that sets up the Gonzalez forehand finish.
Gonzalez, Montalbano.
It's amazing, Brad.
Gonzalez, Montalbano lead
30,
the second
40
set,
good
4
decisions
games
to win a point.
3.
Yep.
And it just takes one bad one to cost you a point.
Oh, no, absolutely. They were doing the right thing. You know, Gonzalez wasn't really hurting them. They were in position making the volleys. Then all of a sudden they sling it to the Montalbano backhand.
Why?
I think, you know, after enough balls, you think you got to do something differently. And if you're gonna, you got to get that ball over to the Montalbano forehand. You know, his backhand is really, he's one of those guys who can drive a ball that you don't expect a guy to necessarily drive. And you just don't hit it anywhere near there. All right, they're going to have to break back now. This is where they started making their good comeback before, a good break against Gonzalez in the last game.
You ever seen anybody who used that inside-out serve exclusively?
Exclusively? No. No, this is the first time.
Yeah, me too. Rusty Wright used to hit it periodically.
Sure.
Jeff Hodges.
Yep. I mean, even nowadays, you see other guys practicing with that quite a bit. Bobitsky's using it some, and he broke it out in Long Island a few times. I mean, so there are other guys using it. Bradberg will break it out. Not so much in tournament play right now. Anything to give your opponent different looks.
That's a great way to create movement
Love
at the net by
15.
Mr. there.
Well, Montalbano hit a stuff volley behind, then he can change his position to cover the line. So he got caught. Nice, again, great hands. No, misses the dink. That was a tough one.
15 all.
Little too low for that. Tough shot.
Great point from Montalbano.
Yeah.
Yep, those are the mistakes that lose
15.
matches.
Yeah, there's no question. Just another missed basic lob.
You gotta wonder if the ankle's impacting his play right now.
It may be a little bit, but I really think it's just the lack of time on the court. And we've talked about it a number of times. He just hasn't been out here that much. I mean, Hiscox and Mistrano is they're a good team. Good eye there.
Really
40,
great overhead
15.
from Gonzalez. It's also interesting to me how willing Gonzalez is to hit backhand overheads.
You're finding more and more of that in the game.
A great shot from Montalbano. Wins the
Game.
point with a cut.
Gonzalez,
Game away.
Montalbano. Gonzalez,
Why do you think that is,
Montalbano
Brad?
lead the second
I think
set,
just guys are
5
getting
games
better,
to 3.
at the shot, number one. You'll see guys and the overhead has become this low shot. People let the ball drop now. They can hit it just as effectively long and low on the backhand side. You still won't see that many, but you've seen a lot more than you have in the past. It's sort of the evolution of the game too.
Love 15.
Fault from Hiscox to start the game.
Another huge drive from Montalbano. Here it comes again. Nice volley. Love 30.
2
Love
points from the match.
30.
Deep in the court to drive that
15,
one.
30.
Interesting how straight up Montalbano's posture is returning serve.
Yeah. Oh! Got to keep your hands in front of you. He had his hand behind him.
15,
Should have played it
40.
with a backhand block.
He had his left hand in front of him. I
Yeah.
think that's the one he hit with the ball.
Yep. Could
Match
get out of
point.
the way. Got to have the paddle in front of the body. You're retreating like that. That's it.
Big forehand.
Game.
Gonzalez.
Gonzalez,
game, set,
Montalbano.
match.
Set.
So little
And
blurb in the
match.
middle there where we got a little bit of a match.
Gonzalez,
but then
Montalbano win the second
closed
set,
out.
6 games to 3.
Any closing
2 sets
thoughts
to
on the
love.
6-2, 6-3 win for Gonzalez, Montalbano?
I think
Time
the
is
thing that was great to see is how well they played as a
12:30.
team for their first time out today. And then, I think it was just a little bit of lack of the time on the court for Mistrano, and even the time together for Mistrano and Hiscox. They just didn't seem game ready, and no answers today. Gonzalez and Montalbano, too strong out there.
Let's take a look at the draw and see what they have in front of them.
Yeah, I believe it'll be Broderick Kaler if the seeds hold a form.
Yep, Broderick Kaler are through. And that's how they'll play in the round of 16.
Yeah, that'll be a good match. You know, Montalbano and Gonzalez they're guys who aren't afraid of anybody. You know, sometimes somebody comes up against somebody like, oh, you know, tough team, you know, we'll be lucky to get a few games. These guys they're going to play with confidence and do their work, but, you know, Broderick's a tough customer, as is Kaler, so.
Well, it'll be fun to see. We'll be back at 1 o'clock after these messages right here on the APTA Network, presented by eNet Live.
Go Rockets!
The more they raise their hands out there, the more they'll raise their hands in here. Good Sports gives kids the lifelong benefits of sports by providing equipment to those most in need. Donate today, because kids who play do better.